So here in this quick video we're going to talk about prisms. So you might not have heard of prisms before, but they're not too hard at all. So a prism is a regular 3D shape with a constant cross section. So what does that mean? It means you get something like a simple triangle here, and then you just make it deeper, and you don't change how big it is or how small it is. It just stays the exact same the whole way through. So for example, you guys will all know a Toblerone, so that's kind of the chocolate bar, and that's just a triangular prism. So it's a triangle that you just made deeper, and the constant cross section bit, that means that it isn't getting bigger or smaller. It stays the same the whole way through. So I'll say that's a triangular prism. Triangular prism. And you can do this with any shape if you like. So for example, we'll do it with a square here. I'm just going to draw a square. I'm just going to make it deeper like this here. So again, drawing isn't good at all, but you get the idea. So this is a square prism. Yeah. So prism is just a shape that you basically made deeper. So what do we need to know about prisms? We need to know how to get their volume. All right. So I'll go down and I'm going to say the volume of a prism, volume of prism is going to be equal to the area multiplied by the depth. Okay, so the way I think about it is, say for example, you cut out a triangle out of a piece of paper. So you have this face here, so it's just a piece of paper triangle, and then you keep cutting out loads and loads and loads of other triangles out of pieces of paper. So you have loads and loads of triangular pieces of paper. If you all put them one by one behind each other, so like this, say these are the white bits of a piece of paper, it'll eventually become a 3D shape, so it has a depth. Okay, so if you get the area of the first face and then multiply it by the depth, you'll get how much space it takes up, how much volume. So that's the way I'd always think about it. You get the area and you multiply by the depth, and that'll give you how much space that the shape takes up. So hopefully that makes sense as well. A good example of this is the cylinder. So I'll go down. So you all know what a cylinder is, hopefully. It's one of these bad boys here. So this is a cylinder. So again, a cylinder is a type of prism. It's a circular prism. So the volume of a cylinder, so since we know it's a prism, we're going to use this formula for the volume. We know that the volume is going to be equal to area times the depth. Okay, so the area here, so I'll go yellow, that's going to have radius of r, and it's going to have height of h. So in this case, the height is the depth, all right? So the area of the face, or of the circle, we know the area is going to be equal to pi r squared. So pi r squared, and like we said, the depth is the h. Depth is equal to h. So that means the volume is pi r squared h. Yeah, so that's using this formula here. The volume of a prism is area times depth. And if you want to check the formula for the volume of a cylinder in your tables book, you'll find that it's the exact same answer, pi r squared h. So that just kind of proves what I was talking about there, the formula for the volume of a prism. So here we're going to do a kind of a little bit of a more difficult example. So I quickly drew out this shape here. So this is called an I-beam. It's just like an eye that's kind of really long. So some of the things in your house or buildings, stuff like that, are steel I-beams. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. We need to find the volume of it. So as we can see, it's a prism because it has a constant, it's a cross section, and then it's just making it deeper. So it's a regular 3D shape with a constant cross section. All right. So if we want to find the volume of something like this, we're going to use our formula. We're going to use the volume of a prism is always equal to area times the depth. So we need to find the area of this, and then actually I just forgot to add in the depth is just 5 meters, my mistake. So we need to find the area of the face and multiply it by the depth, and then that'll give us the volume of the whole shape. All right, so how are we going to find the area of this shape here? So I'm just going to draw this quickly out here. The trick is we're going to break it up into little bits. So there's no formula to get the area of an eye shape, but if we break it up into little sections, we have section 1 here, section 2, and section 3, then it shouldn't be too bad, okay? So section 1 is just a little rectangle, and we know it's 1 meter by 2 meter, so that means I'm going to say that the area is equal to 1 multiplied by 2, which is just 2 meters squared, yeah? Then area number 2, this one on top, is going to be 1 meter by 4 meters. So here we have that the area is equal to 1 by 4, and this will give us that it's 4 meters squared. And then number 3 is the exact same. So I'm just going to write there area is equal to 1 by 4, which is again 4 meters squared. It's the total area. So I'm going to say the total area of the face is going to be equal to 4 plus 4 plus 2, which is just 10 meters squared. Alright, so if we're going to find the whole volume of the shape, remember our formula is that the volume is area by depth. So I'm going to say volume is equal to area times depth. That's our formula. Where the area is 10, the depth is 5, so that means the whole volume is 50 meters squared. So hopefully that makes sense. That's kind of the basic questions you're going to get asked on Prisms. In the next video, we're going to do a slightly harder question on Prisms, but it's the same principle. We're always going to use the same formula. The volume of a prism is the area times the depth. Okay, so hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe if you did, and then let your friends know, and we'll see you in the next video about more prisms.